Hello and welcome back to Take a Sip podcast. I'm Leche.
And I'm Tito.
And today's episode, I think it's going to be somewhat of a quick one. I mean, not really. I guess there's a couple of topics that we looked into, or mostly Tito did this one because I've been kind of busy with work. So it's been kind of hectic for me. So I haven't been able to pretty much do my own research on the side. So Tito did a big bulk of the research for this episode. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I have my input for most of these things he has down. So, Tito, I'll let you take away with the first topic, man.
I mean...
first. Oh. Sorry. What are you drinking, dude?
Just regular Bud Lights right now.
And I didn't have anything prepped, so I'm just drinking soap water for today's episode.
Nice. That's good. I mean, stay hydrated. That's good. So besides our drinks, our first topic, one that I know we're both super excited about.
Oh, yeah, man.
Is that Demon Slayer finally put out the release date for... Hold on. Let me try to say this completely. Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, the movie Mugen Train.
Mm-hmm. You tried, man.
I don't want to fully butcher it, but I tried. But
crazy though, man. April 23rd, bro.
April 23rd.
That's crazy.
It's a Friday.
That's exciting though.
Who want to plan ahead? I mean, we're both super excited about it. I know your older sister doesn't really watch anime, but this was one she was like super into.
Surprisingly, she's really into it. She's like, yeah, like it's actually a beautiful show. I'm like, wow. She says that she really likes just like you can say like the atmosphere of the world and stuff like that because you know I think she just likes it because it's just visually appealing because it is a beautiful anime, to be honest. Like
the aesthetic,
yeah. So it's like really eye catching. So who knows? I mean, I know our Japanese or Japan already released this, and it became their number one movie. You know, it grossed. I think it became the highest grossing movie of all time in Japan, and since release. So, and it's probably going to maintain that. And it's crazy because I think there was a lot of criticism back in Japan that I was reading off of that an animated movie like beat out, you know, like traditional Japanese movies, you know, like how we have like the traditional Hollywood movies and stuff like that. So it was like really surprising to people that a movie like that's an anime, became the number one grossing movie in Japan.
Yeah, it's crazy. But like we said before, it's visually appealing. It has one of the stronger storylines that we've had in certain animes for a long time. Like it's super easy to understand, to follow, but like the dialogue, the voice acting is all just incredible. And I enjoyed it so much. Like it felt a little fast paced a little bit for the few episodes that we got originally. But when you rewatch it the second time, they fit so much in so little time. It flows so well. So well.
I think the biggest thing for people, especially when it comes to like animes, is they want people to follow with the manga, which is like the equivalent of the book version for some people who don't know. And a manga is the book version, you know, just like how Twilight has the books beforehand and then the movies got their interpretation. Pretty much the same premise when it comes to like mangas to animes. Like mangas being their books and then animes being their adaptations pretty much.
Yeah. And on top of that, too, it's like the first season was just like almost 20 episodes?
I think it was 20 something episodes.
Like 22, 24 episodes.
And I think it was paced well, though. I think it was paced well.
Oh, no, 100% it was. But I'm saying like from when from those episodes that we got, it's been how many months now since like there was a few months gap from them even mentioning a season 2 or a movie, let alone the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And even so then, okay, they mentioned the movie. We saw some images. We have some idea of where the story might go, what characters are involved. And now after another, like a bunch of months, we're finally getting a release date, an American release date. And again, so April 23rd is just the movie theater release dates.
Mm-hmm.
And then I believe June 12th was the virtual digital release dates. So like probably like Crunchyroll and all those online anime websites might be having it on too.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, sticking with like
theatricals.
I mean, we also got a little bit more information on the Black Adam movie.
Mm-hmm.
So Black Adam, if people don't know, is the main villain to Shazam.
Yep.
Shazam had a movie a few years ago.
Yep. Back in 2018, I believe.
2018,
like
so 2 years. So for Black Adam, the main actor portraying Black Adam is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So everyone's excited about him. I mean, we've seen him in a lot of great movies.
Mm-hmm.
And then just recently, we also got a few more actors and actresses who will be in the film alongside Dwayne Johnson. Most notably, I mean, the first one that got my attention was, I can't pronounce his name, but I'm going to try my best. Jimon Hanzo? Hanzo?
Jimon Hanzo?
Right? That's how you pronounce it. Incredible actor. The most notable role that he's had was in this old 2006 film called Blood Diamond.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which that's another movie I would highly recommend about like what happens in some African countries with some of the locals and unfortunately white counterparts that show up to these countries and have people pretty much just overtake their villages and force them to work. It's a great film. It's a beautiful film. It's a little hard to watch at times, but it's an incredible film at the end if you're able to sit through it.
Yep.
But like I said, incredible actor. And
for me, the most notable might be Pierce Brosnan. What's his name for Dr. Fate? Damn, I can't read names, bro.
Oh my god. Hold on, I'm trying to...
Him.
Is he also going to be in this movie?
Yeah. Like James Bond as Dr. Fate is kind of fitting, in my opinion. So, yeah.
I don't know why I'm having such a hard time finding him. But yeah, so Dr. Fate's going to be in this one.
Which is crazy because Dr. Fate, as we know, he's probably the equivalent to Doctor Strange in the Marvel universe. So he's going to be a pretty powerful sorcerer. So who knows how they're going to like, hopefully they give him like the whole crazy cosmic powers, you know?
Yeah.
We'll see though. We'll see, but definitely excited to see him on how he's going to portray that role as Dr. Fate, especially because they might not show his face, or if they're going to do the whole, like he's able to take the helmet and stuff out. If people who aren't familiar with the Dr. Fate like story, the way he gets his powers is from the helmet itself, not like he is the like strong like person. The person, whoever wields like has the helmet on, is controlled pretty much to do like the whatever the helmet tells the person to do, pretty much.
Yeah, the helmet has three high entities.
There you go. Yeah.
That are very knowledgeable, powerful. That again, they control the person's body, but in a weird way. Even though they're three different entities, they act as one.
Mm-hmm.
So putting on the helmet, you're pretty much giving your free will to these entities to control you, and as Leche said, do as they wish with these powers and abilities that your physical body now has. But besides those three characters, I mean, I don't know how much you know of them, but two of, I don't want to say younger, but they are around our age range, is Noah Santanao, who is from All to the Boys I Loved, I believe those films are called. And he was also part of the Fosters, which is a great ABC show.
Mm-hmm.
And then Quintessa Swindell, who was part of the Euphoria movie with Zendaya.
Mm-hmm.
So she's also an incredible actress.
I don't know if those must be heroes. I'm not sure if they're anti-heroes, but Noah, he plays Adam Smasher, right? Am I correct on that?
I believe so.
He plays Adam Smasher, and then, what's her name on set? Quintessa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she plays Cyclone, which is kind of a low-key character when it comes to DC characters. So we'll see how they portray those characters and maybe bring them up to light and bring them up more into mainstream, since we actually see an adaptation of them. So we'll see how they do their part, but definitely excited for that movie, and hopefully we get more information soon on it.
Oh, for sure. And then, I mean, as the Marvel verse is doing right now on putting these shows out and introducing characters, obviously more people are caught up in the whole Marvel universe type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I've kept up a little bit. I don't know much about you, if you kept up with the DC verse of things, but it's definitely interesting seeing what characters they're bringing out, where they might be leading, especially after right now with the whole Justice League and Snyder Cut going on right now. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see where they lead with these characters and what might be happening within the next.
On top of that, we'll see how they do as well with the new Suicide Squad movie
with John Cena and all of them.
Yeah, so we'll see what all that means in the bigger picture. You get me?
Yeah,
we'll see, dude. Only time could tell.
For sure. If you don't mind, I kind of want to lighten up the mood a little bit to put some goodness of what video games could actually do. So a few episodes back, me and Leche spoke a bit, even with our friend Andre, we spoke a bit of the game called Ghost of Tsushima, who even after the release date, just a few months, they were already nominated for a whole bunch of video game awards. Incredible reviews, amazing story, visually appealing, great music. I mean, there's so many positive things to say about the game. Yeah.
It was nuts.
Yeah. But for people who don't know, Tsushima is an actual island. It's a very small island, but it is an actual island. People visit and inhabit the island.
Yeah, there you
go. But so this is a little older news, but so back in September of 2020, typhoon hit the island. And one of the gates, the Torii Gate, at one of the shrines was completely destroyed. So in November, one of the priests of the shrine, he started a crowdfunding page with a goal of 5 million yen which is equivalent to $47,500 in American. Yeah. To rebuild the gate at the shrine is called the Watatsumi Shrine in the center of the island.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the center of the island. Later to find out, well, so just recently the crowdfunding came to a close, and he hit the goal. I'm happy to say I'm extremely happy to say he hit the goal. But here's the thing. Because of the game having such a wide impact on so many gamers and so many gamers falling in love with this incredible game and bringing awareness to a new location that some of us didn't even know existed, the crowdfunding page received over 5 times the amount that he was originally asking for.
Wow, dude, that's amazing.
5 times. So he was asking for 5 million yen.
And he received like 2.5.
He received 27 million yen, which is $260,000. Imagine that.
That's crazy.
Asking for 47,000 and you get 260,000.
Wow.
That is incredible.
Amazing, yeah, that's amazing.
And I just want to bring this up because think about how many times you see in the news of like, oh, like this kid shot it up. It was because of video games. He was playing Grand Theft Auto or Call of Duty or whatever.
Yeah, video games have a bad stigma with people.
Exactly. There's good to games. There is legitimate good to games. I mean, even for myself, I grew up with all those learning type of games like Frogger and all that stuff. Like it helps kids with math and English.
Don't know the science behind video games.
Mm-hmm.
So there is somewhat of a science to video games, and it actually has been proven. Like you could look this up yourselves if you guys want to on this. But supposedly video games helps with like memory, like memorizing stuff with people with Alzheimer's because of the hands and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. You have very good coordination with your fingers and hands, especially if you're a person that plays video games on PC or on a controller. It doesn't really matter, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But supposedly it's good for your like finger strength, for your hand strength, for people who have arthritis.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it's known to have people have better memory than people who don't play video games. They've done a study between both people who grew up in video games and someone who didn't. Mm-hmm. And it's like, unanimous. The person who played video game growing up had a way better strength and memory when it comes to like, memorizing certain patterns and stuff like that. The person who didn't grow up playing video games.
Yeah. So like besides the regular like medical helps that Leche just mentioned and like the memorizing and all that stuff, to just bring natural goodness to the world. Like, oh, this happened. I played this game that was inspired by this place. I'm gonna donate so they could rebuild a shrine. Like, let alone, like, we already have wars and street fights over Christians, Catholics, and Buddhists and all that stuff. So now to like literally have those same people donating to this Buddhist temple, I'm assuming it's Buddhist, I think it's Buddhist, to this temple to reconstruct a shrine. Like that's awesome, bro. So the reconstruction is set to begin technically this month in April, and it's supposed to take up till August. There might be restrictions and things delaying due to us still being in a pandemic, unfortunately, but the fact that it's already planned and set to begin already later this month is incredible. And for the people who donated over $95 to the campaign, they will be having their names engraved into the altar. Awesome. To be a part of the memory of recreating the shrine. Oh, it's a plaque. It's a plaque that they're putting next to the shrine.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. So I mean, the game isn't even in the shrine isn't even in the game.
Yeah.
But it just brought awareness to this location, to what happened, to the raising of the money, which it's just awesome to see and hear like that type of stuff.
So it's very inspiring, to be honest. Like what a community could do to like one, disastrous thing that happened in the world. Mm-hmm. It's crazy, but what a group of people could do.
Yeah.
And going into that, the next topic is on how well this video game that recently came out is doing compared to another game that had high expectations. To be honest, it's kind of a weird transition, I know, but it is a weird, like, even thing. I think some people are taking it as like a meme at this point, that a game called Outriders is doing considerably way better than Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh yeah.
And it's I find it funny because
it's incredibly funny.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, dude. It was like almost like, I mean, there was hype, but there wasn't as much hype as Cyberpunk was, and how disastrous that game was. Yeah. And there was like tamed expectations for Outriders, and it went above and beyond what people thought it was.
It's just funny because if you think about it, Cyberpunk had how many years of hype and positive energy. People wanted it to be so good.
Yeah, dude, the hope was so high, dude. The hope was so high.
The delays, but people were still like, we're gonna hold up. We're gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. And just to sadly say that they crashed and burned.
I'm not saying it lightly.
Hard.
Because they crashed and they didn't even burn because they crashed a lot.
It was burning on the way to crash.
Yeah. You were crashing because you were burning.
And
so many memes, bro. Oh, it's so funny. Dude.
And then Outriders only had word out there for a few months. Mm-hmm. And the hype was there. I'm not going to say that, but it wasn't like the hype for Cyberpunk.
Yeah, like, it wasn't big, like I said. Like, it wasn't like, oh, shit, like, this is going to be the next, I want to put in perspective, like, the next Skyrim, like, it's going to be, like, up there. It's going to be the next GTA,
Yeah.
It's going to replace that, it's going to be that new king. God, so, it's funny, dude. It's kind of... It's memeable.
It's so ridiculous. Memeable. Like,
I feel bad because then you hear the news that the only reason why the game came out shit is because it was rushed last minute. And it's crazy to think, like you said, like it took this many years of development and stuff like that, and it still came out rushed, quote unquote. Yeah. It's kind of like, like, who's to blame here? Really, is it the devs? Is it the higher ups? Like, what happened back then? Like, what's the full story?
Yeah.
Like, did you guys really didn't have a plan for the game when you guys first, quote unquote, announced it? Mm-hmm. And like, as soon as you guys announced it, you guys were starting to make the game, or you guys didn't even have nothing done, and you just said, let's just put something out there to say we have something coming up? Like,
the pandemic. The pandemic delayed how many things, and a lot of them are still getting rave reviews.
And the thing is, the game came out, I mean, they worked on the game way before then, though.
Exactly.
They had 5 years prior, before even the pandemic hit here, before even a whiff of the pandemic came out. So it's like they can't blame that 100%. Like, there's no way. There might be some leeway towards the end, yeah, but then other than that, I can't give it to them.
Yeah, me either.
Sadly. The game might look gorgeous on PC and all that, but like on console, it's upsetting, dude.
Yeah.
It's upsetting.
But enough of Cyberpunk. We've crashed enough Cyberpunk. The topic here is Outriders.
Yeah, I know.
we
how
spoke.
good it is.
Yeah, we spoke about Outriders a few episodes back. Like,
yeah,
we had our doubts. We were keeping an eye on it. But I mean, now, like, seeing the gameplay, seeing people run through it, it actually looks pretty interesting. We both actually thought about picking the game up ourselves.
I mean, it's a looter shooter, bro. I mean, it's another Destiny or another Borderlands, if you want to say as well, because it has more of that aesthetic third person peeking view as that game does. So I mean, it does look good, dude. No lie.
It looks
It's all PvE too. There's no PvP stuff, you know. So there's no competitive shit like that, you know, to get with other players and shit.
Yeah,
I know that's a big deal for people. Trust me.
One of the more cooler aspects of what I've seen from the world, it's its world ranking system. So as you're running through the game and you're leveling up, the world around you will also be leveling up.
That's great, dude.
So it will literally put an announcement in your screen that says world rank 6, world rank 5, world rank 7. Obviously, the higher it goes, the more difficult the world would be. So if you, in the middle of a mission, you started off and it's easy and you rank up to the next level, but then because you're still so under leveled and you weren't prepared, you're going to get run over hard.
I heard that it's like there's a good difficulty level to it.
So if you're running through it, and unless you're like us pretty much and you grind through, you push through, you plan better and better each time, if you really just want to play it very casually, not stress and all that stuff, you could go and rank your world down again to put it back to a setting where it's difficult for you to play, obviously, but easier than what it was of you just getting run over every time.
It's more manageable, you could say.
Yeah. And like we said, some of the weapons look awesome. Some of the armor pieces look incredible.
Yeah.
The world is really cool looking too. I mean, some of the areas are blowing my mind.
Yeah, no, seriously, they're incredible, dude. There's some boss fights that look insane, dude. Like, they look nuts. I saw one of my favorite guys to watch, Glad, and he was fighting like a big lava, like snake thing. I was like, oh my goodness, dude. It looked insane.
Did it start off as a spider?
Yeah, there you go.
Then it turns.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It was nuts. I was like, holy shit.
It looked, I was like, I know the spider. I know the snake, that's what I meant. It started off as
this is spider. Obviously, you could tell that I don't. Like,
we don't play.
Yeah, this obviously, because the people right now will be like, what the fuck? How do you not know that?
But like, if you look at like from that, like you start off a lava spider and it turns into this weird lava snake centipede looking type of thing.
That's incredible.
First of all, that's cool. And the visuals on its transformation was awesome too. But like, I don't know about you, but it reminded me so much of Dark Souls.
Yeah.
How all these monsters have like their stages. Yeah. But it's very modernized because you're fighting with guns. You have these superpower abilities and you're not just
two, 3 different games. Like
exactly. But exactly 2, 3 different games, but it's squished together well. You're putting together a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, not a peanut butter, banana, ham, lettuce sandwich.
Yeah, like there's no things that don't make sense. I get
exactly.
What you mean. It comes in perfect harmony for the game. Like honestly, like for the story and everything, it probably makes sense. I mean, when I watched it, I'm like, what is this, dude? But I'm like, I don't care what the story was. That was just an awesome fight, just to witness.
Yeah, and even today, like earlier we were watching Noah J. He was going through some Call of Duty Black Ops, like running these mods on them, and he ended up switching over to Outriders.
Uh-huh.
And I kept watching, and like it looked cool. Like he was still pretty much at the beginning and hasn't fought any bosses from what I saw, but even still, like
fun.
Yeah, those world fights that he was doing like looked cool, and like seeing the different abilities that everyone could have, and how him and his team set up these abilities and knew how to work off each other. Like that was cool.
Yeah, there's so much potential. Hopefully they get more content like that to the game and progressively just make it better. And I think they will. I think they knocked it out of the park so far. The one thing that might scare me in games like this specifically is people run through the content like crazy.
Yeah,
they fucking consume it like they're thirsty. Like fuck.
I want to know how much replayability there is to the game.
There you go. That's what I meant. Like how much actual replayability there is in it. Because they're higher tier content.
Exactly.
Like once you hit that max point in the game, is there something to like progressively make the world more difficult for better loot, or is there like once you hit a certain point, you unlock the next point for the story as well? That would be awesome too. I've never seen that in the game before.
Yeah, because I mean, on with Destiny, like there's still raids you could do every day. There's strikes you could do every day, and every time like you're getting different loot, you're finding loot to get your main armor stronger. First of all, let alone with the oh my god, why can't I think of it? The season passes that they have. So like if you're like a low ranked player like me
right now, though, is once you're at that high level, like that high of a level, there's really nothing to grind for. You get me? There is, but they're tedious though. The thing is,
well, that's the thing though. Like you also still have like your different characters. You still have your Titan, you have your Warlock and your Hunter. Like, okay, I finished my Titan, I'll work on my Warlock. I finished my Warlock, I'll work on my Hunter. You got me?
So we're coming from two different perspectives here, though. If you think about it, because I play almost every day.
Religiously.
You play as a more casually, I would not say. More recently, a little bit more than recently.
The two reasons I don't want to talk about.
No, reasons that we won't disclose or anything like that. No, that's that's personal. Definitely keep that out. But honestly, I think for me, since I play religiously, I'm telling you this, even if you work on your other characters, once you're done with that, like once you think they're in a good point, there's no reason to continue on. So right now, for a person who plays religiously, the only content, especially if you main PvE stuff, which is, player versus enemy stuff, only thing that will keep you like in right now is probably the GMs, honestly. He's not even the raid, because the raid, you could do it under leveled. You don't have to be high light for that.
Yeah, you can get carried through it.
Yeah, like exactly. You could be 1280 and still do the raid perfectly fine. Like you don't have to be 1310. You don't have to be the highest like imaginable to even play that content. GMs, you can't even go in without being 1325.
You have to be that, and that's the annoying part. Like,
don't get me wrong. For some people, that's annoying, but for some, like again, I know for you, for example, play casually, but for me, who plays religiously, that's the only thing I gotta kind of look forward to.
Yeah,
which kind of sucks a little bit,
Yeah, so it's definitely gonna be interesting seeing like the end game of Outriders, seeing what they bring to the table, how they're looking to expand to it. Because I mean, if they're planning on doing seasons, like what would they be adding? If they're planning on adding like extra storyline to it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, they just started, dude. So they could go up from here. Hopefully they just keep the momentum going. That's the strongest point that I could probably say, is just to keep the momentum and grind going.
speaking of keeping the momentum going, Resident Evil Village. I mean, segue. That's one of the better segues I've had.
Not even whispering. That was a good segue.
I mean, Resident Evil Village, like, bro, like the amount of hype for it just from the first playable teaser that they put out.
It's nuts, dude.
And just recently, they also, what is it? Like I literally, I think just today, or even just yesterday, they're putting a showcase event on the 15th, where they're supposedly gonna give more information on the game. So I'm guessing like era, character names, but on top of that, it's a full live stream, by the way. Like they're doing a full on live stream with some of the developers. But besides like the names, like the era, some of the storyline, they're gonna pull out another playable demo to it. So that's something we very, very rarely see. 2 demos for one game.
Yeah, this game must be like they must have like real. They must be proud of what they made. If they're gonna be this like, I want to say it funnily. Like they're bringing out that big dick energy, like straight up.
Yeah,
and like they got a massive fucking dong, and they're fucking pulling it out like straight up.
They can't put it in their jorts anymore, so they're just gonna let it
out, bro. Air it out.
They're just gonna put on gray sweatpants.
And just let it fucking
swing,
ride the wind. Like, holy shit, bro, relax. Fuck.
But I mean, if this game keeps on going the way it is from Capcom, I mean, Capcom has a lot just in general. Like a lot of their fighting games, on top of that, the Resident Evil games. And let's be honest, if Resident Evil Village blows the whole Resident Evil name back up to what it used to be, I mean,
it's gonna hopefully they just maintain that. Like, if they, how do I put it? If they bring the same level as they did for 7 for Biohazard, it's going to be a mainstay. That's going to be the new way people are going to perceive Capcom. Like, holy shit, dude. You guys actually did it. You guys resurrected yourselves, like that. You guys redeemed yourself after 5 and 6.
And as we've seen, like the Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes have been really good too. So
the remake for 3, was the supposedly people's favorite so far because how it was made and like remade and stuff like that, and the new mods that you could add on it. Supposedly, people really love that. So,
so I mean, if that keeps going, there's also word that the Resident Evil 4 might be getting a restoration project as well, and even. Huge. Or maybe even Resident Evil Code Veronica.
Oh,
that might be another one too. So, but on top of that, Capcom already has another animated series, Resident Evil Infinite Darkness, which is coming to Netflix. And apparently have another new live action film in the works, apparently too. So,
well, we'll see where that goes because the movies have been a little, hit or miss, honestly, especially with that last one.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. But
and
hopefully they do us some justice,
Yeah. And as of right now, still the release date is set to be to May 7th. So
soon.
Yeah, I know, very soon.
Approaching. I'm talking about approaching, dude.
Yes.
So
some of our things. I'm just talking about our transitions.
I know, dude, they're fucking awful, bro. I swear, but they're funny. I love them. I don't remember if we had an E3 talk in the wild, to be honest.
I don't think we did. I don't think we ever did.
But E3 this year is going to be online. It's going to be a digital E3. As of the announcements of, earlier this month or early March, I believe it was announced. I'm not sure 100%, but
so first off, E3, first of all, is normally a giant convention like Comic-Con or like Playlist Live or whatever all those other things normally are, where you could be there in person if you buy a ticket, walk around the floor, see these booths that people have, and then certain presentations on the games or from these companies are streamed online, so people online could still watch. But now 100% of it will just be straight online, so there is no buying tickets. We kind of hit this topic a little bit before, like with BlizzCon Online that I brought up.
Yeah.
So it's definitely going to be interesting how they adapt a full-on floor representation to a full online presentation.
I mean, I don't think it would be that difficult. You won't have the crowd that you're used to, pulling that energy if your game's good or trying to back away if it's bad.
True, but I mean, you also got to think like
it'd be entertaining for sure.
It changes how you
perceive a game,
how they present it, because you normally have the crowd to interact with them, feed off their energy.
That's what I meant. Like, you don't know if the crowd is excited for the game, you won't be able to, you won't be pumped and be like, oh shit, let's get out there, let's go to the next section of the topic of this game, whatever,
Yeah.
If we just talked about story, let's talk about weapons, like that. Very amped. Or if a game fucking sucks, like, you won't be able to like back away and like, like go back on what you're saying and stuff like that, or correct your mistake if you're like someone didn't catch on to what you said.
Yeah, normally there's like those like few seconds on the live stream to like change something real quick if they're fast enough, because I know there is that type of stuff like you could edit.
Yeah. So,
but I mean, depending on how live they want to do this,
I doubt they're not going to go full live like that. I think it's going to be like scripted and stuff like that. Like, they're going to have people like actually look in and write stuff down for them.
Yeah.
There's no way they're going to do this 100% live, quote unquote. There's no way. So, I mean, it's exciting though. I mean, E3 is always, it's been kind of like lame last couple of years, but I mean, it's always exciting to hear what new projects are coming out, what new topics that these game companies are trying to bring up, and like, new updates, new games, new IPs bringing up and stuff like that.
Normally, E3s are where mostly Xbox and PlayStation announce Xbox Series X and PlayStation
new
5,
game exclusives and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like Game Battle Pass and all these other things.
Yeah, seriously, they just go ham on each other.
Yeah, but so we actually have word that some companies already are backing up the E3 online, like Nintendo, Xbox, Capcom again, Konami, and Ubisoft, just to name a few. But there's also a whole bunch missing still that are always up for it. Yeah, that they're either haven't confirmed or just haven't even said anything about it. You got me? So, I mean, some of those names opposite of Xbox is Sony, EA, Activision Blizzard, which I'm finding a little weird. Wow, that was from the soul. Excuse me for that one. I mean, I don't really know why Blizzard. Well, I get why they would join, but they already did their whole BlizzCon thing. Yeah, so they announced a lot on that BlizzCon as well.
Yeah, I think the only reason why they would show up for E3 is for more, like more announcements to hype more of their stuff out, more of their games and stuff. Sony, on the other hand, I understand why, and I think this is already their third year not going to E3.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I think,
Wow.
it might be their third or their second year if they do it. I think it's because they backed out because they didn't want to be in competition with Xbox anymore. And they're like, we're not doing this. We're gonna go and make our own presentation and make our own live stream just for our games alone.
So they want to become essentially an Apple.
Not a monopoly.
Apple. You know how Apple puts out their own presentations, like, here's the next iPhone, here's the next
exactly
iCar X.
Like, yeah, like they want to be by themselves, like literally, like the whole spotlight is on them alone, which is perfectly fine. You know, if they have the budget to do something like that, good for them. And honestly,
yeah,
you know, to give people like, I think the shitty thing is, I think a couple of years ago when the first year they did it, they did their live stream at the same time the Nintendo did theirs.
Oh, really?
I think that was they live streamed at the same time something else was happening in the E3 live stream. So there was like, oh shit moment, like who the fuck are we watching? And
yeah.
And I think PlayStation got more of the attention because they had a better announcement than the other company did at the time.
Well, for sure, because I mean, PlayStation always has the systems. When you look at PlayStation, you always want to see what's the next system. If you're looking at Nintendo puts out more games than they do systems.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And also for those who are very unaware between the Xbox and the PlayStation rivalry, I mean, you could count it from the beginning when Sony said, here's the PlayStation. Microsoft said, here's the Xbox. Then it went to like the Xbox, what was it, 360?
360.
360 to the PlayStation 2. Then the Xbox One to the PlayStation. No, I'm missing something.
Yeah, Xbox One, yeah.
No, so Xbox to PlayStation 1, Xbox Elite to the PlayStation 2, Xbox 360 to PlayStation 3, and then the Xbox One to the PlayStation 4. And then even right now with the Xbox
Series X
and Series OX or OS or whatever it is to PlayStation 5. I mean, it's always been back and forth. And then Nintendo will occasionally be, here's the Wii. Here's the Wii U. How about a Switch? Y'all like the Switch?
Yeah, you guys like this better, right? All right, cool. We're keeping this one. This one actually is good.
Y'all like the controllers, but not the main console. So we'll give you the controllers, different console.
Yeah. And talking about Nintendo, I mean, I heard that there's like a whiff that they might announce this year in E3 a new console, a new Switch, like a Pro version or something like that.
Yeah. It's supposed to be stronger and
like the battery lasts longer and stuff like that, more stuff, more applications and stuff.
And if you're playing online certain games, because you could play Fortnite and Overwatch, which are pretty much online battle games, they're supposed to be able to hold and withstand and pretty much keep up with the game, not the other way around.
Right. Well, that's perfect. Hopefully that comes true. That makes the other freaking system cheaper. So whatever, I'll get it then.
Yeah, for sure. And then, so E3 is supposed to be in June 12th and 15th. I think it's just those 2 days. I don't know if it's
it's usually just 2. I think it's usually 2 days. Yeah, 2 or 3
So normally,
days.
I think the 12th is a Friday, and then the 15th should be a Monday.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's pretty much all we got, unless there's something you want to bring up.
I mean, that I could think of at the moment, not really.
No.
I think that's the news that that you thought of.
Yeah.
Hey, let me correct myself before I make the mistake on saying that. So I mean, if that's all we got, I mean, that's perfectly fine with me.
All right. And then on top of that, people, it is April. April is Autism Awareness Month. It is also Autism Acceptance Month. From us, who we have multiple family members on the autistic spectrum. This is something that hits us very near and dear to the heart. So definitely visit autismsociety.org to learn more about autism. There is a page to get involved with the autistic community. And I mean, it answers a lot of basic questions on what it is like to living with them. They're still just people. They learn differently. They might have speech impediments, but they're incredibly intelligent. They could do regular work, if not better work than regular people can. Because
yes, I mean, at this point, sometimes it'd be like that. Yeah.
And it's just like, it's all about respect here. That's pretty much the word we want to put out right now. Just respect, love. It's, even though we're still in a pandemic, and obviously those are the words we've been preaching. I mean, like I said, this is something that hits us very near and dear. But besides that, Leche, where can people find you?
People can find me at Instagram at Leche Minuesa, or you guys could follow me at Twitch at TechnoFreak95.
And you guys could follow me on Instagram, Twitter at OneAlphaPenguin. I'm also on Twitch at OneAlphaPenguin. I was able to get my handle and not having something different. And I've been streaming a little bit here and there, trying to get through Little Nightmares just so I could get Little Nightmares 2.
Yes, sir. We gotta catch that.
Yeah. You guys can also follow the podcast at TakeASip_pod. Follow the YouTube or subscribe to the YouTube at Take a Sip. Just Take a Sip. I always do that. YouTube.com/TakeASip. It is the same logo we have for the logo right now. I may or may not be working on a new logo, so hopefully that might be coming soon.
Yeah, dude. Maybe peek the Instagram for some teasers here and there. Maybe, potentially.
We occasionally we occasionally post, but I mean, obviously, getting the right crowd, we'll post more often.
Of course.
And I mean, do the things. Give us 5 stars on whatever app you're using to listen to this right now. Leave a comment, subscribe, do all the things.
Yeah, just hit all the things. Just hit them all. Give us something.
Spread the word. Please spread the word. Get other people to listen to us. We're not desperate, though, I promise.
No, definitely. We're far from that, if anything. Mostly for fun at this point.
Yeah, for real. And it gives us an excuse just to drink in the middle of the week.
That's the biggest factor here on this.
And then just to laugh. But besides that, drink some water, take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
See ya.